But look, it does come at an interesting time for the European banking sector. As you mentioned, I mean, there are lots of challenges facing this industry. Let's just rewind a little bit to the beginning of the year. At the start of 2018, I think everyone assumed that because of the cyclical recovery we're seeing in Europe, European growth at 2%, you would also see a similar type of recovery in European financials. It hasn't really panned out that way. If you look at the performance year to date of the banking sector, it is the worst performing sector in Europe, even though the economy is growing. So clearly, there are some fundamental issues at play here. And we could talk about the macro. We could talk to the fact that ECB have kept rates at a very low interest rate environment for a very long time. No real signs of them hiking anytime soon. And actually waiting for the ECB to start hiking isn't much of a strategy. And so I think what we're seeing now is pressure on the industry to really tackle those challenges head on. And one of them is excess capacity in the sector, which is why we're seeing these murmurs of potential consolidation going on. The big question really is whether or not in 2019 we're actually going to start seeing those cross-border activity take place. For the time being, we've seen lots of domestic consolidation. We're seeing that in Spain. We've seen a little bit of it in Italy. There are talks of it perhaps beginning to go in that direction in Germany, but we're not really seeing the big cross-border flows, and some of that has been on back of hurdles from the regulatory environment as well. So I was speaking to a couple of analysts, and they think that perhaps next year is the year where we do actually see some of those big deals take place, and you were just referencing some of them. Also, let's take note of the fact that there have been some recent personnel changes. As you mentioned, BBVA chairman has stepped down. We've got a new chairman that's come in. It's really consolidating the fact that they're pushing into technology and sort of rebranding, investing in digitalization. We also have movement from Santander. We heard recently that Andrea Arcel, who obviously was the investment banking deal man at UBS, is now moving to Santander to be the CEO there. So it does tell you that, again, some activity is taking place on the personnel side of things. And then also, let's not forget the big elephant in the room, geopolitics. I was just looking at a chart from Deutsche Bank. Italian banks have a 95% correlation to Italian sovereign spreads. Financial delinkaging hasn't really happened. So we all have to keep an eye on what's happening on the political side of things as well, also Turkey. So lots and lots of challenges facing the European banking system.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.